Hi, I'm Brandon Sawkill, and you're watching Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have another movie review for everybody out there. This one's on a movie called Return of the Killer Tomatoes from Arrow Video USA, and it's directed by John DeBello. And in this movie, we have Anthony Stark, George Clooney, Karen Mistel, Steve Lindquist, and John Astin. And what this movie is about, it takes place 10 years after the original movie Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It takes place 10 years after the Great Tomato War. And everybody's still kind of afraid that there's going to be another outbreak, another, fight with tomatoes. So they've outlawed tomatoes. You're not allowed to have them, grow them, eat them, nothing. They've almost become because they're illegal, they're like a drug in a way. Not that it get people high or anything, but it's just, you can't have it, and if you get caught with it, you'll get arrested. There's also Professor Gangreen in this, who is an evil scientist guy who has other plans of his own to take the tomatoes and basically transform them into, they look like human beings. He makes them into this militia of his own, which when they all come about as humans, I don't know how, whenever he creates them as a human, they all kind of resemble a Rambo type of person, and they all have a machine gun and a headband and all this. It's pretty ridiculous, and so they're there to keep him safe and guard his house and guard him. I'll admit, I've never seen the original. I've never seen Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, but this does recap it in the very beginning, so I wouldn't say you necessarily have to see it, but it does seem like you should see it, and I want to see it now after seeing this. This movie is a little ridiculous. Which I didn't know going into this. I know it's Killer Tomatoes, but there's been a lot of cult classic movies that aren't really on the normal side, that kind of try to take themselves seriously. This doesn't at all. It's a movie that knows it's a movie, and they really throw that in there a lot in this movie. A lot of product placement, which when they first start doing the product placement in this movie is friggin' hilarious. I thought it was such a funny thing to put in there, and they just keep throwing it here and there throughout the movie. Everybody's pretty funny in this movie too. George Clooney, you know him as nowadays as more of a serious kind of actor. You've seen him in other things like Return to Horror High, but he wasn't really in that too long, and that's more of a comedy type of horror movie. And this is, like I said, another one, and he just was pretty funny in this. He's the best friend of the main guy in this, and so he's in it throughout the whole movie. And the main guy, Anthony Stark, he did a great job as well, along with Karen Mistel. She did an excellent job as well. And there's something about her that I don't want to say about, because if you're like me and you have never seen this and you have no idea what it's about, I won't even give that away. You kind of figure it out pretty early on, super early on, but again, I don't want to say anything. But John Astin, who was Gomez on the Addams Family, the original Addams Family, is in this, and he's the scientist, and he does a crazy job. It's very funny. A lot of comedy in it is kind of like maybe Airplane and Monty Python, and it almost kind of reminds you of a trauma movie, but not so pushing the boundaries of what can and can't be seen on the screen. The most, I'd say, subject they pushed is, she said, about giving them a blowjob and wanting to have sex. That's pretty much as they've wanted to see how far they can go with this, I think. And it was just, everything's done in a very funny way. And at first the movie wasn't really grasping my attention, I'll be honest, and then it started really picking it up. It started getting even funnier, and it was just done very well. I thought it was a funny movie, and apparently it's spawned 4 movies total. So there's Attack of the Killer Tomatoes in Return, then 2 sequels after this, also a TV show and a video game. So that makes me want to go out and check this stuff out. The TV show didn't last very long, but it did star John Astin in it as the professor, and It's all in the book, in the booklet in here, but it's just pretty cool, information and stuff that I had no idea about. So makes me want to go back and watch the original Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which a couple people from the original are in this, and they quickly, like the hero of the beginning of the first one is in this as well. He's the uncle, and there's another guy that's in the first one that has a part in this movie who points it out, like, you give me only 2 lines in this. I was a star in the first one and all that. I was like a main character or something. It's funny how they do that, and sometimes I don't like that when a movie knows it's a movie. But I think it worked really well with this movie, and I just had a really good time watching this movie. I laughed a lot, so it was a good time. And on here you have, on the special features, it's just, there's only one feature really, and it's an interview called Hanging with Chad, brand new interview with star Anthony Starkey. I don't know if it's Starkey or Stark, but it's like 18 minutes long almost, and it's just about him talking about his time on the set, and talking with about George Clooney, his time with him, and why he got into the wanting to act, and things that happen on the set with Clooney, like how Clooney's a prankster and all that stuff. It's a pretty good interview, very funny, and he seems like a very likable guy. But other things on here, like it's this is a 2K restoration. There's also the commentary, subtitles, original trailer, TV spots. Then there's also the reversible sleeve, which I'll show you now. And there you have the original artwork. Kind of looks a little bit like the original Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which I've seen the poster to that and the cover to that so many times, and this kind of looks like it. It's a little more calmed down, but you can see it's a little ridiculous. The tomato has like a headband on, and it's pretty crazy. And then the newer one, it looks like that, and I think this one looks really cool, but you can't really beat the classic. I think it has that awesome look to it, but I definitely like the original better, but the new stuff looks pretty good too. You also get a little booklet in here. It's pretty cool. It just tells you all stuff about the movie, the cast, and a little behind the scenes stuff. And it's called The Ripe Juicy Goodness of Return of the Killer Tomatoes by James Oliver. Pretty neat. And yeah, it just talks about that. And there's a picture of Clooney and Anthony in there, and you just got more information, more pictures, and then of course there's the back. And here you have the Blu-ray. There is only a Blu-ray in here. There's no DVD, so if you don't have a Blu-ray player, you probably shouldn't get this. But it's a nice cover. I like that they went with the original artwork on here. I think it would have been cool with the other one as well, but it looks really nice. So all in all, I'd say if you're into like the goofy comedy movies like Airplane or like Naked Gun type of movies, I'd say check this out. It's not as ridiculous as those, but it's pretty up there, and it's a fun time. And I gotta say though, not as many tomatoes in this movie as you would think. Way more in the first one than the original, from the trailer that I've seen. So I gotta go and watch the original Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, because I'm watching this, I want to see the original, and I'm just excited to watch that and see the other 2 movies after this. So yeah, I'd say this is a great addition to that Arrow brought out of this movie. I think it looks great. I think it sounds great. Not too many features, but that's okay. It's a great addition to your collection, I think. And make sure you check out the trailer for this at the end of this video, and give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and Horrormino. That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye. Is it a fruit? Is it a vegetable? Nope. It's Return of the Killer Tomatoes.